Everybody, Commiss, I can't even talk already. Commish Ace Coach 704 here for PEL storylines. Of course, we're talking about the playoffs, and we got the playoff chase we're going to break down. Of course, as usual, we have a lot of teams in contention. As you see, the top NFC teams on the screen right now. I am just getting ready to share the video so everybody can take a look. Just 1 second. There we go. Alright. So, in the NFC, we've got a fun chase going on right now. We've got the Lions at 12-2 at the top. 49ers actually tied with the Lions at 12-2. Don't think they've played this year. Eagles at 11-3 leading the NFC East, and we've got the Cardinals at a wild card at 10-4. Seahawks at another wild card right now at 9-5, and the Falcons leading the South at 8-6. In contention for a wild card, we have the Packers, the Panthers, who are also in contention for the NFC South, and the Giants. I think those are the only teams in contention at this point with only 2 games left in the season. If you are below the Giants, meaning Vikings, Saints, Bucks, Redskins, Rams, Cowboys, and Bears, you need to be focused on your scouting and getting ready for next year, seeing who you're going to re-sign, and making arrangements to get your team better to get into the playoff chase next year. Alright, let's take a look at the divisions here. NFC West, the most fun division in the league. We got the Niners at 12-2 with a 2-game lead on the Cardinals, and then the Seahawks at 9-5, and Rams are preparing for next season. Do the Cardinals still have a shot at the division? I'm not really sure here. I know they've got, let's take a look at their schedule. We'll jump back to the standings here in a second. But let's take a look at the NFC West finishing schedule here. So the Cardinals have, oh, well, look at there. Well, the Niners win. They can close it out this week. And if the Cardinals win, they still keep it alive to have a shot to get it week 17, playing the Redskins, where right now you would have to favor the Cardinals in that game. So this one is a big one right here. I see Levi jumping on. It's not fun. Of course it's fun. I have the same problem in my division. When we get to it, I'll be glad to share my thoughts about those guys. So the 49ers finish with the Cardinals and then the Giants. The Giants, week 17, they may have something to play for, may not. We'll see here in a second. But, yeah, this one's a big one for sure, especially for the Cardinals. The Niners are already in the playoffs. When you saw that X on the standings, that means they've clinched a playoff spot. All right, so the Seahawks have the Panthers this week, and then they have the Rams. So they'll be favored in both of those games, and I think they'll finish at 11-5, to be honest with you. I see the Eagles rooting on the Cardinals. Oh, you guys are a joy. All right, let's jump back to the standings here. So like I said, right now the 2 wild card teams in the NFC are the Cardinals and the Seahawks. And that's pretty clear right now. The only one, Panthers and Giants have an outside shot. I think the Panthers need to focus more on the South than the wild card. Giants, they've been kind of in and out here lately, so I'm really not counting on them. But the Packers at 8-6 are an interesting case study. Let's take a look at their last 2 games here. I think the Packers have risen with the Vikings kind of demise. The Vikings have been kind of busy. The holiday season, they work in retail, so it's been a real busy time. So the Packers are finishing, well, there you go. If the Packers get in, they're going to earn it. They got the Vikings here, and then they got the Lions in week 17. That's the perils of playing in the NFC North. So if they're going to get in, they're going to earn their way. If they do play, that will be a good game. We see they played once before in the Packers did beat them in Minnesota 30-28. So you figure it's going to be another close game here. And then they played the Lions, and that was a close game too. So, tough games, but if they can win them, they could get to 10-6, and then they'd have a shot, at getting one of those wild card spots. But it'll be tough, for sure. All right, let's jump back to the standings. Thank you, Cody, for the fuck Deontay hashtag. It's been trending in PEL before. Alright. So once again, for the NFC, here's what we got. Let's take a look at the tie between the Lions and 49ers, because we got to look at conference record. Same conference record. Have they played this year? I don't think so, but we'll take a look anyway just to see. And this is just the difference between 1 and 2 seeds is what we're checking for right now. And, they did play. And the Lions won. Alright, so the Lions have the tiebreaker. So the Lions would be the 1 seed if they ended up being tied. And then the 49ers would be the 2 seed. But they'll both have byes, and they'll get home playoff games in the divisional round. And then after that, like we said before, the Eagles still have a shot at getting a bye. They'll probably have to win out at 11-3. But the NFC South winner is guaranteed to be the 4th seed, whether it be the Falcons or the Panthers. And let's take a look at that dynamic real quick between those two. See who has the tiebreaker if they did end up in a tie. Alright, so the Falcons, I know they play the Texans this week. And play the Panthers week 17. There you go. Who won the first one? Let's see. Well, the Panthers did. Alright, so that means if the Panthers were to win the second time around, they would have the tiebreaker, which helps a lot in this situation because the Falcons are a game up right now. And you look at the Panthers' final 2 games, they got that Seahawks game and they got the Falcons. So once again, kind of like the Packers, they can win and earn themselves in, but they got to get it done on the field. That Week 17 game will be huge if they're able to defeat the Seahawks, because I think the Falcons will defeat the Texans. So if the Falcons win, they've got the division locked up. The Panthers have to win this week to keep their hopes alive at getting in, at least winning the division. They still have a shot at the wild card, but they would need a lot of help in order to get that done. All right, so let's jump to the AFC. Well, let's review those seeds again. So right now, the Lions are the 1, the 49ers are the 2, Eagles are the 3, Falcons are the 4, Cardinals first wild card are the 5, Seahawks second wild card are the 6. Still in contention, Packers for the wild card, Panthers for the wild card or division, and then the Giants for the wild card. All right. So that's the NFC playoff picture. Now for the AFC, you got the Bills at 13-2, Steelers 13-2, the top, 12-2, excuse me, the top 2 seeds right now. Chiefs will be the 3 at 11-3. The Jags will be the 4 at 10-4. Dolphins first wild card right now at 10-5, and Browns Chargers right now. The Chargers losing today, and we'll see what happens with the Browns when they play this week. But they're in contention for the second wild card. Really, all 3 of these guys are contention for 2 spots right here. Dolphins, Browns, Chargers. Colts and Jets also included in that. So all those teams right there are in contention in the AFC for the playoffs. If you're below the Jets, Titans, Raiders, Broncos, Ravens, Patriots, Texans, and Bengals, play your young guys and start scouting really well and get ready for the off season and the upcoming draft. All right. Now, let's start at the top. Bills at 13-2. Both of those losses to the Dolphins. And then the Steelers at 12-2. We'll look at the final schedules for those teams. Well, we'll look at the Steelers anyway. So the Bills have 9 AFC wins, and their final game is against the Steelers, believe it or not. So it's funny how that works out. Let's see who the Steelers have this week. And both of the Bills and the Steelers have clinched playoff spots. The Y means they clinched their divisions. So that's what that means. Alright, so Steelers. I believe they have a tough game. We were talking about that. Oh, they got the Chiefs. Very big game. Alright, so ramifications for that game are huge, obviously. If the Steelers defeat the Chiefs, that locks in both the Bills and the Steelers as the top 2 seeds. Hit the wrong button there. In the AFC. But if the Chiefs were to win, it keeps them in contention for a top 2 spot and a bye in the playoffs. So really big game for both of those teams right there. So we got the 1 at the Bills, 2 as the Steelers, 3, like we said, are the Chiefs right now, and 4 the Jags, and then this wild card mess. So let's jump by division here. All right, AFC North, like we talked about the Steelers, they're 12-2 in a very good spot, already clinched the division. Browns at 9-5. In the AFC, they are 6-4. That is tough to get in with when you got 4 conference losses and you start talking about tiebreakers. They got 2 AFC games left. It is imperative they win both of those games to help out that conference record and get to 8-4. All right, AFC South. We got the Jags at 10-4. Colts 8-6. Still have a shot at the division, but they have to win out and then have the Jags lose out and then hope they can get a tiebreaker. We'll check the head-to-head for them here in just a sec. And then 5-5 at AFC record for the Colts. That does not look good for the wild card. So they really have to try to get a lot of help and force a tie in the AFC South. Let's take a look at the Jags and Colts finishing schedules here. And then we'll check their head-to-head as well. Alright, so you got the Colts succeed. They lost head-to-head right there against the Jags. And where's the other one? Oh, there it is. Blind as a bat. So they lost the head-to-head. They lost the tiebreaker to the Jags. They finish up with, they got an easy finishing schedule. The Raiders and the Texans. So they can get to 10-6, and that gives them 7 conference wins. So that gives them fighting hope. Well, let's see who the Jags finish with. Well, the Broncos and the Titans. If they win one of those, they win the division. So it's in their hands. But, the Colts, I think, are going to win out and get to 10 wins and 7 in the conference. Jags have to win one of these games to solidify that division. But they have the tiebreaker. So they really already won it, but Madden hadn't given it to them yet just because Madden's not that advanced. Right. So we've established that the Jags have won their division, and the highest they can be is the 3 seed. And either way, they're going to get a home playoff game in the first round. It really doesn't matter for them because they're going to be locked in playing that first weekend anyway. Let's look at the Chiefs and the Chargers in that AFC West race. I know the Chiefs, as usual, were very nervous about their finishing schedule. And he was really afraid of Deontay. So, you see, now they lost that matchup with the Chargers there. That was a big loss. That kept the Chargers in it for the division. And you see what they finished with. The huge game we talked about this week with the Steelers. And then they got the Chargers again. So, Deontay is still in this race, and y'all know how he is. But if the Chiefs were to beat the Steelers, that would clinch the division for them because the Chargers they won today. But they're still behind by a game. So this game right here is huge. If the Chiefs lose this game and then they lose to the Chargers, then the Chargers will win the AFC West. And then the Chiefs would go to a wild card. And they're already at 11 wins, so the wild card teams do not want to see that. They want the Chiefs to win the division. Plain and simple. But Deontay is still in it, and like I always say, he finds a way to get into playoffs, and it's no surprise that he's right there in it once again. Alright, so let's try to take a look at this wild card mess, because we've got to try to sort this out. Alright, So we've established Bills are the 1, Steelers are the 2, Chiefs are the 3, Jags are the 4 right now. Alright, so now you got these, gosh, Dolphins, Browns, Chargers, Colts, and Jets, all in wild card contention. When you got it like this and you're trying to determine the playoffs, you have to look at your conference records. So you scroll across, well, let's go to the Dolphins. And you scroll up across and you look at their conference records. Dolphins right now are 8-3, Browns 6-4, Chargers 8-3, Colts 5-5, Jets 6-4. Alright, so the Dolphins are in a pretty good spot with that conference record. The other team that's in a good spot are the Chargers because their conference record as well. And they've already played this week and they've won. Alright, so based on that, you would have to put the Dolphins and the Chargers as the 2 wild card teams in the AFC. And that makes for a very strong field because both of those guys have made Super Bowls before, obviously, and Deontay's won them. And then you've got multiple guys in here that have won Super Bowls. I've won them, of course. I don't think Steelers has won a Super Bowl yet. He's been there. Kyle's been there. So you got a lot of experience and a lot of talented guys in this playoff chase. So the Browns got work to do, I think, to really get in because both of these guys won today at 10-5. Let's see. Let's take a look at the Browns schedule and see what they finish with. Let's see their chances here, and then we'll look at the Dolphins also. All right. So the Browns have the Bengals and the Jets. So the Bengals was probably going to be a win because they're rebuilding. The Jets is an interesting game because they still have something to play for. And, they're not easy. That record is kind of deceiving because of the AFC East and the strength of that division. So really, really interesting game week 17 for the Browns and the Jets. That's a loser leave town match, I believe. If you lose your chance of trying to get in the playoffs. Let's look at the Dolphins and see who they finish with week 17. They've got the Patriots, which is not an easy game. We talked about the Patriots before. And, he said he was going to get on a run, and he's won 5 in a row. And 2 of those at my own demise, but, it is what it is. This game is about matchups, and for whatever reason, we don't play well against Miami. Everyone else, we play pretty well, but against the Dolphins, we just don't play our best. So it's one of those Madden coding things, I guess. But that'll be a tough game because you see the first time the Patriots played, that was a close game. So let's see what the Jets finish up with because they're in the wild card chase as well. They got the Patriots this week and then they got the Browns, so they got to win this week to stay in it. If they don't win this week, you might as well cancel Christmas because it's over. All right. Who else were we going to look at here? I think that's really about it as far as the wild card goes. So let's reset it once again. We'll kind of go through the divisions in the AFC. All right, so in the North, we got the Steelers locked in as a number 2. Browns got a win to get in, improve that conference record. Jags have won this division. Colts got a hope and a prayer. Went out and then hope some other guys lose games and they can try to get a tiebreaker. But like I said, that conference record at 5-5, I don't think they're going to get in. Dolphins and Chargers have a better conference record, so I think they'll get in before the Colts. I think it's really over for them. Strength of this AFC East is really, really tough. Similar to the NFC West, honestly. You got myself as the, as the number 1 right now. Dolphins in at the number 5, and the Jets still have hopes, but they got to win out. And then, like I said, with the Colts, their conference record 6-4 is a little better, but they got to win out and then hope one of the Dolphins or the Chargers lose week 17 to get a tie. And really, if you're the Jets, you want it to be the Chargers because I think the Dolphins have beaten the Jets both times this year, so they have the tiebreaker. So Jets, you got to win out and then hope the Chargers lose to the Chiefs in week 17. They force a tie, and then hopefully you'll get the tiebreaker in that scenario. I didn't last year, and it screwed me, but I'm good. I'm over that now. It motivated us to be 13-2 right now. So yeah. And then the AFC West. Chiefs at 11-3, Chargers 10-5. We went through that dynamic. Chargers, I think I'm projected as number 6 seed right now because of a better AFC conference record over the Browns. And once again, the Chargers are 8-3 in the conference right now, and then the Browns are 6-4. So that's why we're projecting the Chargers as the 6, Dolphins as the 5. All right. So right now, based off our projections, here's what matchups would look like in the first round of the playoffs. Lions with a bye, 49ers with a bye. Eagles, the 3 seed, would play the Seahawks, the 6 seed. Falcons, the 4 seed, would play the Cardinals, the 5th seed in the NFC. AFC. Bills with a bye, Steelers with a bye. Chiefs, the 3 seed, would play, he'll love this, the Chargers, the 6 seed. 4 seed, Jaguars, would play the 5th seed, Dolphins. Those would be some hellified games right there. Missing the playoffs would be the Browns, and I don't know if he's ever missed the playoffs. That might be a first. Colts, Jets in the AFC. NFC, that would mean the Packers, Panthers, and Giants missed the playoffs in those projections. Alright, so if you got questions, please go back, start from the beginning of the video, broke it all down. You know what you got to do now. Storylines, playoff chase, that's it, man. If anyone's got any questions, throw them up. Otherwise, let's take a look and see if we can get these games scheduled, knocked out. I'll have an off-season schedule put together soon. Of course, we got Christmas coming up, so we'll take a break as we need to around Christmas. We should be in the playoffs then anyway, so if people knock out those games, that's fine. If you can't, we'll of course take a break on Christmas Day. That'll be official holiday for the league. But if you do knock out your games, we'll, move things along. We're looking for a draft, usually takes a week after the playoffs are over, so probably I'll try to get it in right after New Year's. We'll see. I'll have it out here within, this week. Usually by the time we hit week 17, I'll have a good idea of what we're going to do. Week 17, we'll see about 24-hour advance this time around. We've got a lot of people in contention, but we'll see how this week goes. Like we just talked about, if a lot of people have been knocked out, we pretty much know who's in the playoffs. We'll make week 17 a 24-hour advance like we always do, and then we'll get into the playoffs. All right. Thank everybody for watching. If you missed it live, of course, the replay is up in the chat. Just hit play, and it'll start from the beginning. Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good night. Appreciate it.